So today I'm going to be doing the first lawn mow on a regular job I do. The grass isn't overly long, hasn't sort of grown tons and tons, but there's a lot of rubbish, sort of debris and that out of the trees, and the customer just wants to give it a bit of a jive up, so I'm going to just run over. As you can see, you know, it's just things like lots of rubbish, branches, sticks and twigs. They've also, customers have had had the builders in. So builders have been in here since well before Christmas. Before Christmas they were in. In fact, they were here sort of November time. I was doing my last cut in the back garden and couldn't get to certain bits of grass because the builders are in the way. So the builders are still on the go, but that means I want to spend a little bit longer preparing the lawn. I want to make sure there's no rubbish on the, because there's lots of rubbish flying around, and so I'm going to go around, pick a bit of crap up and just make sure there's nothing I'm going to hit with a mower, bits of metal or brick, stuff like that. This little section underneath this big pine tree is always a little bit messy. The pine needles out of the tree just make such a mess. But what I'm actually trying to do is blow a lot of the pine needles up onto the lawn, so as I can pick them all up with a lawnmower. But as you see here, because the gravel driveway is all little stones, I don't want to blow any of the little stones up onto the lawn, because then I end up hitting them with a mower. So you'll see me go back and forwards because I'm trying to blow the pine needles up. But once I've blown the pine needles up, I like to blow the little stones back onto the driveway. Can be a little bit annoying, but I find it's really important to try and keep on top of the pine needles, because if you leave them, they just mass up and just make a real mess. You can't really see them too well on the video, but around the edge of all these lawns at the moment are daffodils that are slowly coming up. A little bit of a pain as well to go round them throughout the spring, but I've only got myself to blame because I was the one that planted them probably 6-7 years ago. They do come up and they look pretty good, and it's nice little ring of yellow when they all come up in the spring, but those early cuts are a real pain in the backside because you've just got to go around them, with the mower and the strimmer. But they don't last too long, and then they're back down, and I can get on with the lawn nice and easy. When doing a video like this, I always just speed up the mowing footage just a little bit. Mowing at real speed, when you're mowing a lawn, you don't actually feel like you're going that slow, but when you filmed it and you look back on the footage, mowing looks really slow, and the Hedge 41 is a pretty quick mower. But I just want to say that any of this footage you see is sped up just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more interesting. On this middle section of lawn, because it is the sort of focal point as you drive into the drive, sort of the first thing you see, I do spend a little bit more time on it, and for the last couple of years I've done like a crisscross pattern on it, where basically means on one side of the lawn I've gone one way, on one side of the lawn I've gone the other way. Just makes it pop out a little bit nicer. I've had a lot of comments from people walking by outside when I see them who says how nice the lawn looks. At the moment, because the grass hasn't really grown that much, it doesn't really stand out that much, but once the lawn greens up in the spring, it really stands out quite nice, and it's nice to stand back and look and think, yeah, it looks quite pretty. This section of lawn, although at the moment is quite clear and open because none of the trees have leafed up yet, but in the spring, summertime, this section of lawn's incredibly shaded under here. The grass really struggles to grow. It's just basically with all the leaves on the trees, there's not really that much light gets in. It's the same down the other side as well, but normally throughout the year I will raise the mower up a little bit throughout this area just to give the grass a little bit of extra length, just so as it catches the sunlight a little bit more. Starting to warm up a little bit, which is nice. I've got this bit all done, and that section over there is all done. I've got to go down here. There's a lot more sticks and rubbish this side, so it's going to take a little bit longer. As I say, the grass isn't all overly that long, so just nice to be mowing again, really. Things are obviously picking up as well. I'm nearly back to my full schedule now. I've had 2 more phone calls from regular customers since I've been here at this job. 2 more phone calls from regulars that want to be back on the list now. So, you know, over the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure I'll be back to full capacity and running well. Hopefully the dry weather continues and I'll be able to keep people happy. Right, let's crack on. Honestly, the Hedge 41 that I'm using is probably a little bit small for using on this job, but I think because the lawns at the front of this property are sort of broken into 3 different sections, you don't really notice sort of how big the lawns are. Obviously, if the driveways weren't there and you was just mowing a big lump like the back garden is, you'd notice it a lot more, but because it's broken into 3 sections, just breaks it up a little bit, you don't quite notice. But ideally, I think I would be wanting to go for the next size up, you know, the 48, something like that would be ideal. It's the mower I used to use on this is a 48, but yeah, at the minute using the 41, doing okay. We'll see later on in the year, or whether or not in the early spring, if I need to replace it or not. I'm not sure at the moment. All the way down this side now, all down here, all the way down here. Oh, I just thought I'd say as well, I finished the hedge. So I think a few videos ago, I was outside doing the outside of this hedge, and yeah, it's all finished off now. In fact, I've noticed I didn't have time to clear up last time, so I'm gonna, after now I've finished mowing, I'm going to go and spend a bit of time just tidy it all up. But yeah, I spent a little bit of time on the outside, a bit longer than I normally would spend on the outside of this hedge. I went around with the henchman ladder and reached across sort of a couple of foot, and I sort of said in the video I was hoping it would help me out, the reach across the top. It did a little bit, but I think next time I will try and reach over a bit more. I'll probably try and get the henchman ladder up there, raise it up as high as it will go, and probably get the attachment, the extension pole on the hedge cutter, and try and reach over as much as I can from that side and this side. I mean, it's such a wide hedge that I still struggled quite a bit, but got there eventually. Got it all done. That job's off the list, and now I can concentrate on all the little jobs inside. So I'll cut the grass up to here. I'm not going out there, that's for when I get my other mower, and I really must get that soon because this grass is getting long and scruffy. I must get it sorted. Anyway, let's crack on. I've got more jobs to do. originally I planned to do a few flower beds like this for you at the end of the video. Unfortunately, the battery ran out on my GoPro after I finished just one of them, so unfortunately I couldn't do all that for you. This footage is all footage you've just seen. It's just sped up really fast. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, be good. I'll see you next time.